All right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who were well, peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect. Shalom Barakathum. And I'm going to be reacting to this video that was on the Joe Rogan podcast not too long ago, because the tone of the proud is changing up now. Okay, their tone is changing, it's switching up concerning the mysteries of the Bible, man. All right, and we know the Most High said that these things would happen. We said that there would be people, quote unquote, wise guys, okay, diviners, astronomers that can try to hypothesize things and come up with theories about, you know, what is and how long ago these things happened. And even though the Bible has been here for thousands and thousands of years, and they told you, they had to come up and try to figure out some other way outside of it. But what did it lead in the information age? We're gonna find out. With all of this technology, with telescopes and microwave background radiation analysis and spectrometers and all of this equipment that Esau can use to peer out into the heavens, and what he's found out is that he's understanding even less of what's going on. What he's found out is that you don't have what it takes to analyze what is, how we got here, you know, the big questions, so to speak, you know, and basically they're confounded. And what's happened is all of this information they've gotten all of this new knowledge, and with all of this new knowledge, they found out the less they understand. There's an inverse relationship with knowledge and understanding. Okay, the more you get, the more knowledge you get, the more burden there is to understand. Because if you think about it, you don't have to try to understand something that you don't know, because you don't know it, you know. But the moment you get that knowledge, that's where the burden of understanding comes in. And that's basically what Esau's been doing with this technology. He's been getting a lot of knowledge, all right? He can see more stars than ever. He can detect more celestial bodies than ever. But that's just knowledge. And because this increased burden, because of that knowledge, all of this extra knowledge, it's an increased burden to try to understand it all, you know? So that's basically where he is, and what he's found out. He understands way less, okay, than he did before he developed all this technology to find out. And so what are they doing? They're circling right back around to the Bible. All right, so let's play this video of Joe Rogan. It's about 7 minutes. I don't know if I'll play the whole thing, but we'll get some points and roll through the spirit, man.
Science asks of you one miracle. That's the Big Bang. Yeah, it is one miracle. It really is kind of like a miracle. Yeah. If in the beginning there was nothing, and then God created the earth and the skies, and it's essentially what the Bible is trying to say. They're just doing it in a way.
And the interesting, you know, the Bible got it right. They got the order right.
Right.
You know,
I think it's based on an understanding that people had achieved. Because if you think about the Bible, right, and if all these people are correct about
so the Most High is at work here, man. He's allowed them to see just enough to know that you're wrong, and what I told my servant, which I'm gonna get that precept, what I told my servants to write down is correct. And at the end of the day, you're gonna be completely confounded, man. Completely, your doctrines of understanding of what is gonna be completely turned on its head. Okay, because you are not the beginning of understanding and knowledge. Okay, you're just a vessel that lives here, that's trying to come up with your own theory, you know. Anyway, let me get a precept real quick, because it's been going for a minute. I don't want to do that too long, but I'll bring it out some scripts. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 20. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not the Most High made foolish the wisdom of this world? All right. So this is the Most High at work, man. Okay, he allowed you to get this wisdom. He allowed you to develop nuclear technology and electromagnetic technology that leads to the world of electricity and electromagnetism and electronics and all the modern world, you know. Radio waves and light wave detection, you know, all of these advancements, the Most High allowed you to get these things, man. All right. And you've taken it just to come back. You've taken something the Most High gave you to try to come back and disprove the Most High. All right. So what's going to happen to you? You're going to be the ones embarrassed, man. The whole earth is getting ready to change their tone about what is and who the men of the Lord are, who the Israelites are. You're going to find out the things that you've been taught in a lot of these schools were off as hell. Okay. There's some good parts in it, you know. But ultimately, if you eat that whole roll that Esau created, is going to destroy you, man. All right. Verse 21, for after that in wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. All right. So y'all don't understand the Most High, man. Y'all don't know the Most High. And this is why they're coming back to the Bible. Because their heart was never really in the Bible. They thought, oh, that's a few things that's curious. They didn't really look up. They just read Genesis, the first chapter. They didn't go through the books of Esdras. Okay. They didn't go through the New Testament and look at various references to what Moses wrote down in Genesis, right? They just read Genesis and tried to extrapolate from that. But now they're coming back to it, and the reason they didn't do that is because they're not really close to the Most High, man. They don't really have an investment into creation. Their curiosity of creation is just a means to cut it open and destroy it and make something on their own, you know. It's not like ours. We have a genuine investment into learning what is, man, because we were those spirits that created this universe that you call, you know, Earth, you know. Now let me play some more. There's a lot they going in on.
Original history of sophisticated civilization. If the Randall Carlsons and the Graham Hancocks and the Robert Shocks of the world and the John Anthony West, if they're correct in the timeline of, like, say, the most sophisticated society that we are aware of, which is Africa, if those people that lived in Africa 30,000, 40,000 years ago in Egypt, if they created a society that was infinitely more sophisticated,
you can see they're
than
still
anything
off.
that we had ever seen before.
You can see they're still off with this, not 30, 40,000 years ago. They're guessing, man. They're winging it. Okay, and this guy Joe Rogan brings on some of the smartest people in the world on his podcast to discuss these things, to try to get to the bottom of things, but they can't.
Like, how did they do that? Who did that? And what was that like? Like, what the fuck was that like? What was that world like back then? I mean, have you ever really stopped and tried to think and imagine what was that world like back then? I mean,
well, how about that you have a similar world in Central and South America where they also had built things many thousands of years ago that still, like, how the fuck did you do that?
Yeah, how'd you do that?
Easter Island. How did y'all make those things?
Yeah.
How in the world? And then move them?
Now, the understanding for you brothers on that is in Genesis, all right, to give you the understanding of what explains a lot of these pyramids you see around the earth that they say are thousands and thousands of years old. Now, the scriptures don't tell you exactly everything that was going on in the pre-Diluvian period, which is the pre-flood period, which is the time, you know, from basically Adam all the way to Noah. All right, but we know that there was, the Most High said he's flooding the earth because the violence is exceedingly abound in the earth. Exceeding violence, man. So, you know, I personally believe that a lot of those pyramids, many of them, you know, I don't know, you know, about all of them, but many of them I believe were remnants of the wickedness that was going on before the flood. All right, because a lot of those pyramids and ancient temples, these big giant blocks they keep talking about, those are many of them are underwater now. Okay, the Most High actually flooded a lot of it. Now you got some of them that were up on higher peaks of mountains that when the water came back down, you know, you can still see them, and that's why they can go back and look at, you know, water erosion and damage and things of that nature, you know. But before that, the earth was a Pangea, okay, and Pangea Pan meaning all, Gia means earth, meaning the earth was had one big continent. It wasn't 7 continents like it is today. The flood is the reason why you have 7 continents. Okay, the water came from the deep and it split the land masses far apart as where you see today. The Mariana Trench, when you look at it, it looked like a big ass baseball seam going through the earth, man. And you can see how America North and South America was once almost in the shape of West Africa and Europe, how it was all connected. Okay, and so this is why they're so similar. Okay, because you had various heathen nations all going into the same idolatrous worship and practices, man. You know, and but Esau is trying to put together timelines and these 30,000 years old. Just stick to the scriptures, man. You know, there are things the Bible will tell us, and there are things that it doesn't tell us that we can kind of speculate on. All right, but at the end of the day, you know, what the Most High told us to write down, told his servants to write down, is correct. Okay, you can speculate on the things that weren't written down. Okay, but you can't go against the thing that the Most High told his servants to write down. All right.
Well, I think if those things go down and then people have to rebuild, I think it takes a long time before people figure out what happened. I think it takes a long time. And I think that's where a lot of the confusion that you see in the Bible comes from. Like God made the earth and the sky and everything in like 6 days, right? And on the 6th day he rested. Okay, what are they actually saying though? You're getting things that are translated from an oral history of 1,000 years, and then they're writing it down in Aramaic, they're writing it down in ancient Hebrew, and you're getting it many years later, long after.
Diluted and
all kinds of. Think about what people are willing to do today to the Constitution. Today. Well, with all the information that we have about the dangers of this, think about what they're trying to do today. Now imagine what you would do if you had the real knowledge of the birth of the solar system, of the development of human beings, and the God energy of the universe, and you tried to translate it over an oral history because there's chaos, because there's no more cities anymore, and everyone's dead. And you're just like hunting and gathering as cave people, and you're trying to relay this origin story of mankind. And then it gets written down in parables, and it gets written down in Latin, and it gets translated over the years, and that's
intentional. The Most High has this word coded. It's spoken in parables and allegory. Genesis and Revelation are some of the hardest books. They are the hardest books to understand, because they work with higher level concepts. Okay, and it's explaining things that we don't have an anchor of knowledge on today. All right, now when he spoke about the days and why people are confused about the days and the 6 days, well, he's going to speak a little bit more on it. All right, you can't just read Genesis, man. All right, the Bible is a package deal. All right, if you want to understand the Bible, you got to eat the whole roll, man. You got to read the whole thing and put it all in context. Okay, because if you read just Genesis out of context, you'll really think that there was a serpent running around and there was just 2 people on the earth. You know, like Esau tries to paint it. All right, but he's right in the sense that, you know, Moses, when he was writing these things down, he didn't have the words and the vernacular that we have today. You know, he didn't have the scientific way of explaining, you know, everything. All right, but what the Most High told him is still through this day makes perfect sense, man. All right, you know, when you look at it, when they talked about the Big Bang, all right, that's the one miracle that he said at the beginning. Science just needs one miracle. Okay, well, you either believe in miracles or you don't. Well, we could just use one miracle just to get our theory started. No, explain all of it without miracles. Because science will tell you there's no such thing as miracles. They'll use words like phenomenon and anomaly, you know, to explain things that they can't understand. All right, but they'll never tell you that it's miraculous. There's an explanation for everything. Well, sometimes it's not, man. Okay, the Most High can just do something that you can't explain. Okay, but they'll use the Big Bang Theory, and then it turns out it comes straight out of the Bible, man. In the beginning, all right, when you read Genesis 1, you see that there was nothing. Okay, and then it let there be light. Boom, there's something. All right. And now they're trying to come back and acknowledge, oh, the Bible. Well, y'all got this from somewhere, man. You know?
Okay, then they sit down and they look at it many years later and they go, what the fuck were they trying to say? Like, what were they trying to say? Because so much of what they're trying to say, if you're really paying attention, like, it seems like it's kind of laid out, like
You say, what the fuck are they trying to say? Salaki from my French. This is Isaiah 33 and 18. Isaiah 33 and 17. It says, thine eyes shall see the king in his beauty. They shall behold the land that is very afar off. Thine heart shall meditate terror. Where is the scribe? Where is the receiver? Where is he that counteth the towers? All right. Thou shalt not see a fierce people, a people of deeper speech than thou can perceive, of a stammering tongue that thou canst not understand. All right, and this is basically what they did. They convoluted everything, man. All right, Esau's got a name for almost 1 million stars out there. He's just making shit up. Okay, he's defining what a galaxy is, what a nebula is. Okay, what a quasar is, what constitutes a planet. What kind of stars? And he's categorizing different stars. All right, all the way down to the animal kingdom, man. And before you know it, you need a damn degree just to get through the damn categories, man. You get through the categories and you still don't understand the bigger picture. You see? So he's made everything way deeper than what it needs to be, man. To confound things, because really he doesn't want you to rely on the original. We'll just call it a hypothesis in Genesis, right? He wants you to dead that and look at his body of work that he put in, all right, to formulate a theory out of that. Because ultimately, he wants credit, man. If you let this devil continue to go on, he'll make it seem like the Most High never existed, and then he created everything, and he always had the understanding. Just let history go on long enough, it'll be rewritten to make them look like gods, all right? And that's how the devil gets down, man. You know?
Origins of the universe. If in the beginning there was nothing, like they're talking about the Big Bang. If these scientists all agree, how do they know that?
Then there was light. That'd be the Big Bang.
Why wouldn't they assume back then that God was always around? Why would they assume that God had to make everything? Why would they assume that there was a beginning and an end? Just because they have a beginning and an end? Is that rational? Why would they assume that? And why did everybody assume that?
He's right. There's no reason to assume. If you just born somewhere, right? There's no reason to assume that there's any beginning of anything. You know? There's no reason to assume that time begins and then it ends. You're just born. If you're just born right in the middle, you have no context. There's no reason to assume these things. Yet, what you see written down in the scriptures, it tells you there's a beginning. Okay? It gives you the concept that there was that the Most High existed before the beginning. So there's the concept of extra temporal existence. Extra meaning outside of, temporal meaning time. All right? The Most High is extra temporal. He's not confined to time. They call the Most High the Ancient of Days, man. All right? Another another way to translate that is the elder of time, meaning he's older than time. Okay? So there's no reason to believe that, yet we have it written down. Why? Because the Most High gave the knowledge and what is to his servant Moses, okay? And he wrote it down the way the Most High told him to write it down. And all the way to this day, like Deontay Wilder say, to this day, it still holds true throughout all the discoveries, all of the work that the Chaldeans did, looking up at the heavens, all of the work that the Mayans did, in every period of history, there's been these developments of understanding of astronomy and how the stars move around. All right, all the way to today, where you have actual telescopes, you can actually see these things up close now, and the Bible still holds true through all of that, man. All right, and these are beautiful things, man, because if the Most High did it with the earth, he's going to do it with his men. Okay, how everybody's looking at us like, nah, those can't be the men. Well, the Lord is going to show y'all, man. Okay, the Lord loves doing this. He loves allowing somebody to get proud in their own way of understanding, and then confounding them. All right.
Maybe because they fucking knew. Maybe because at one point in time, whether it's 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago, they had figured a lot of this shit out.
Well, someone figured something out for everything, the pyramids and the way that they were built.
Yeah.
To be aligned so perfectly with a true north, and
just to be able to construct them. If those people were that smart, why wouldn't we imagine they had an understanding of the birth of the universe? Why wouldn't we imagine they would have this bizarre understanding of the way morality and good and evil play out with human beings?
Now, you know, a lot of brothers will say that the Israelites built the pyramids, all right, and I believe that that's true. But I also think that you had that Egypt, where Ham was also an ancient site as well. All right, because the flood, remember, the flood destroyed a lot of things. As a matter of fact, that whole area where the Sahara Desert is, where you know Egypt is on a map, Egypt is on the northeast side of the Sahara Desert. All of that sand, the way that it got there was through a flood, and Esau will tell you this, man. When you zoom out on Google Maps, you can see it's sand basically flooding across from east to west, okay, across the Sahara Desert, and the only place where you find sand is where there's seawater. So seawater dumped and covered all of that up, man. All right, now when we were getting hell put on us, a lot of people don't realize that there were way more than those 3 pyramids of Giza, man. There were hella pyramids in Egypt, man. And it wasn't just pyramids. We were building all kind of temples and other places, obelisks, all right, the various statues, all right. If you could look at a picture of ancient Egypt at its height, that shit looked lit. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bunch of idolatry, but you know, Jake was in there. We put our hands on it, all right. We had everything polished with the limestone, laden with gold and things. Jake has that sauce to him, all right. But the pyramids of Giza could very well be much older. You know, we don't know. We'll find out in the kingdom, but we do know that we built a great deal of, we built Egypt up basically, man. All right, in that captivity. All right.
They were right. Maybe they were right, but it all just got fucked up over the thousands of years after asteroid impacts and the thousands of years of the destruction of the advanced civilizations and the world going back into chaos and then slowly rebuilding. And you're rebuilding with these ancient texts that you find in clay pots in Qumran. And you ever seen when they translate like the Dead Sea Scrolls and they lay them out, they have to try to figure out which pieces go with which scroll, and they do it based on DNA. All this DNA is from this cow, so let's take this scroll from this cow skin and put it together and try to read what the fuck they said. It's incredible, but it makes sense. It makes sense if you buy into the idea that there's been a restart of civilization, and then you go back and say, okay, what is the history of the Bible? Like, how old is it? What's the oldest version? Like, what's the oldest version of the story?
Like, yeah, who knows?
Right, who knows? Right. What was the original? Like, you're playing a game of Telegram, right, or telephone with over 1,000 years, with who knows how many people. But if we've seen what the Egyptian people were able to build, what was that like? How sophisticated were they?
And people speculate around that time you had other cities like Egypt before the flood, like Atlantis and things of that nature. We'll get this knowledge in the kingdom, but the point is the Most High is the author of everything, man. All right, trying to go outside of the scriptures to explain what the Most High did is extremely foolish, man. And this is just another way the Most High is confounding the wicked. Okay. Because once you get the earth wrong and modern day science wrong, everybody's gonna be looking at you like, what can we trust you with, man? What knowledge and information or wisdom can we trust you with? All right, let's go back and get some more scriptures real quick. This is Job chapter 12, verse 12. With the ancient is wisdom, and in length of days understanding. All right. So with him is wisdom and strength. He hath counsel and understanding. Behold, he breaketh down and cannot be built again. He shutteth up man, and there can be no opening. All right. So the Most High decides where wisdom is placed in the earth and what kind of wisdom, the quality of that wisdom. All right. And the Most High is the author of everything. He decides who goes what, who knows what. Okay. Who discovers what. You see, verse 15, behold, he withholdeth the waters and they dry up, and he sendeth them out and they overturn the earth. All right. Because Esau will tell you, he'll try to go like, he'll watch the tides and the way that they move, and he'll put two and two together like, oh, the moon, and try to connect things. All right. But he's just working backwards from something, a knowledge and a wisdom that the Most High has already established, man. Okay. And he doesn't want to go through the straight path to get the understanding, man. All right. Esau does not have the patience of what Esdras did, to sit there with the angel and fast for 7 days to get more knowledge and more understanding and revelations and things. That's not him. Like, man, I want to cut something up, you know, and look inside of it. I want to blow something up and see what happens. That's Esau. All right. Verse 17, the main point, he leadeth counselors away spoiled, and maketh the judges fools. Okay. So the Most High can lead you down this whole path about the Big Bang and this and that, all for you to discover something later like, oh, no, and all that was wrong. They're calling in the theory of general relativity into question now, man. All right. String theory, quantum physics, it's all been confounded, basically. It's a bunch of super smart scientists that are confused. You know, when you look into scientific academia and look at some of the highest, most complicated things to understand about the universe, matter, and all of that, they're all debating because they don't really know. They're all debating each other. Okay. And verse 20, skipping down, he removeth away the speech of the trusty and taketh away the understanding of the age, man. So the Most High can give Esau a bunch of knowledge, and he can take things away, man. He can make you look smart, all only to later to make you look stupid, you know. And that's really the main point. I got one more precept if I let this play.
And maybe what we're getting at in the Bible is just the longest game of telephone of a true story. It's just all kind of gumbled up in stories, and God's testing you and all this thing about, you know, God telling this guy to kill his kid. And it's just a little screwed up, but it's showing you that there are evil forces at play, and there are temptations that we must resist
lessons.
Yes.
in a story that you can understand.
Exactly.
And that's
but at
why
the heart of
7
it is
days,
the truth to it.
because what is a day to God?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Is that a billion years?
Yeah.
A million years?
100 billion?
Who knows?
Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
But
Well, if they had the spirit to read, you know, you can go into the Bible and find out what a day is to the Lord. Which you can read that in the book of Peter's. A day to the Lord it's like 1,000 years. So each day, the 7 days spoken about in Genesis, is our 1,000-year periods. All right, and this is elaborated on in the book of 2nd Esdras. Okay, I forget the chapter. It might be, I don't want to say the wrong chapter, but look up the 12 parts. Okay, the 12 parts. Okay, it may be chapter 8 or 9 or something like that. And that further elaborates on it. Okay, showing you there are 12 divisions of time, meaning this whole process, when it's all said and done, it's going to be 12 days to the Most High, from when he said in the beginning to the kingdom. Okay, now we're at the end of the 12th part right now. All right, and maybe I'll do a lesson or breakdown on that to go into that a little bit further. All right, but they don't read, so they're like, oh, it could be 1 billion years, 1 million years, but at least they now know enough to know that they didn't know. You see, now they're questioning it because they at least know enough now that they were wrong. Okay, even though they don't know the answer.
It's presented in a way that you can digest it.
Yes. And then our version of it is this simplified, uneducated, barbaric version that gets translated from people that are involved in sword fights. They're fighting each other with swords and hacking each other to death for thousands of years while they're telling this story. The Crusades, all these different things that people did during that time, horrific things. And
right, because the Most High, after the flood, put us basically in the chains of darkness. He said, "Ye shall surely die." Okay, we were able to build things like pyramids and these giant stones back in the day, man, because we were not the same. These were not the same bodies that we had back then, and we didn't have the same knowledge and wisdom that we had back then. Okay. So all of those things were erased when the Most High judged the earth with the flood. Okay, and we lost our stature. We lost a lot. Our ability to live a long period of time. We were not the same, bodies back then. Okay, so these are, the scriptures say these are the chains of darkness. All right, and that's why we were out there fighting with swords, but yet we still had this divine knowledge. Because there was a remnant of individuals the Most High wanted to pass on the story of creation through. All right, a chosen lineage of people, man. All right.
That time they're doing it, many of them, in defense of their God, in defense of their religion. They're motivating people by these books.
Yeah.
It's fascinating stuff. It's fascinating. But when you hear a guy like Tucker Carlson saying that what else do you know, bro? Say what you know. Like what makes you say that? Because if that really is what it is, that would make sense to me why the government would keep that information from people. Because if we found out that people were essentially just a vessel of souls and that we are essentially designed to give birth to artificial intelligence, and then that will be the end of us. So that's why they're not worried about nuclear war. That's why they're not worried about the environment. That's why they don't give a fuck about anything. This is all coming to an end.
We're there.
Yeah.
Like, we have it. We have it to the degree that people are already relying on it heavily.
Yeah.
Advertising agencies are relying on it to tell them how to cut a commercial.
Right now they're going into the AI, but this is the last precept I'll get. This is Isaiah 44, verse 24. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am the Lord Yahweh that maketh all things. All right, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone. Okay, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself. So don't let this guy come up and try to spew this nonsense about everything was random and what? All right, y'all still bickering and arguing, doing all these highly complicated mathematical equations to just come up with nothing at the end of the day. All right, but let's keep going. Verse 25. Thus that frustrated the tokens of the liars and maketh diviners mad, man. There's an account in the Bible where the Most High just didn't have the sun go down. You see? And everybody that likes to predict the heavens and says gravity is this force, and from that distance it affects this thing, and angular momentum and all of this blah blah blah. And they can track exactly when the eclipse is gonna come. Well, the Most High can make you think you got the pattern locked down, but really you don't. Okay? And I believe the Most High is gonna do that. He's going to do something where these astronomers are not going to be able to say anything. Okay? They're going to have to acknowledge Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. All right? It says that frustrated the tokens of the liars and maketh diviners mad, that turneth wise men backward and maketh their knowledge foolish. Okay? This is what's getting ready to happen on a mass scale, man. All right? And it doesn't just apply to his understanding of the heavens and the earth. Is going to apply to who the real people are, man. All right. Do spirits exist? They're debating these things. Is there such thing as a spirit? Well, of course there is, man. All right. You can't be so arrogant to think that something doesn't exist because you can't perceive it or touch it, or Verse 26, it says, that confirmeth the word of his servants, That's the key point, man. He confirmed the word of his servants. The Most High told Moses to write these down, and boom, he's confirming it, man. Okay? It says, and performeth the counsel of his messengers. All right, and we break down things according to the Bible. It don't matter what Esau discover that tries to make the Bible look bad, or this, or I got the explanation. The Most High is going to confirm us, man. All right, it says that saith to Jerusalem, thou shalt be inhabited, and to the cities of Judah ye shall be built, and I will raise up the decayed places thereof. And that's the main point, man. All right, so I'll end it there. I know it's kind of long, but you know, I just found it very interesting about how the tone of these devils are changing, man. All right, they're not so proud anymore concerning the things of knowledge that they perceive to know anymore. You see. So I'll end it there, man. Lord willing, this is edifying. Call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rachak Wadah Shalom Kwam Yasharal.